Wasted it.
Cut to black.
Dad?
Baby Abby.
You can tell because her braid is so much shorter.
It's interesting in hindsight now watching how when players do this, they think, oh, I'm just going to get a little bit of a glimpse into who she is. They don't know yet. You're only at the halfway point.
Abs?
And we're about to introduce Jerry the surgeon, played by Derek Phillips, who voiced the surgeon in the first game.
Right there.
Another fun fact is we originally cast him as Henry before we decided to drastically change those characters, and then gave him the role of the surgeon.
Believe it or not, they actually care about your safety.
These woods are
But that's before you knew that the second game was happening at all.
Yeah.
right on the other side of those trees.
And?
She's due any day now. We'll just check on her and then we'll head back. I promise.
I like this role reversal where she's more the adult in this relationship.
See?
You're probably thinking about this surgeon that doesn't have much to do until Ellie shows up. Of course, the zebra comes because, again, this is part of the Salt Lake City Zoo where the giraffes escaped that we saw in the first game. Zebra, played by the wonderful Chris Robbins, who doubled for a lot of stunt work as well for many characters on this game and the first game.
I bet nobody ever asked him to be a zebra before.
No, but man, he did a good
nailed it.
job of being a zebra tied up in barbed wire. And he's like this big former football player, and he's just knocking everybody around here.
What?
I love Pat just coming in like,
What's going on?
I'm like, yeah, what the fuck is this?
Come on. You got her tight?
right, and then this was originally a mini game where you had to cut the wires off of the zebra.
We worked on it for quite a while, and just
We did.
eventually.
That was a long scene. Okay, now hold still.
Yeah.
Right there, that little slip in the mud. Again, that's hand animated.
Fuck.
What the fuck?
Hey, wait.
And then it's like, again, it's like the dad is acting like a child.
Come on.
And this was a stitch point because, again, the volume can only take you so far, and those stitches can be really tricky. But it was important in this project to always go outside the volume and just not make you feel. A lot of games, the performers can feel really constrained, like they're in a box. I wanted it to feel freer than that.
The one Marlene keeps talking about. They found her in the tunnels. She has an old bite mark on her arm. No signs of infection. That can't be. They're already running tests on her, but you gotta get down there.
Now there's like this glimmer of hope with Ellie and revealing that we're in that same giraffe location. All this beauty and wonderment happened in the first game. We always stick to the POV of the character you're playing as. So this was like why we're coming into this conversation late, is because you're hearing it when Abby hears it.
She's a child, not some petri dish.
You think I don't
Merle Dandridge. Come
This is
back.
my first day meeting Merle.
the situation?
And you're okay with killing her.
No, I'm okay.
Like Merle and I had so many conversations about how conflicted she was about what that has to happen, and then years later to visit the moment when she was arguing with Jerry.
Asking me? Are you telling me this is how it's gonna
I
be?
always like that we get more insight into these characters.
To buy in.
And what if this was
I like seeing Marlene advocate for Ellie behind the scenes because
Yeah.
she's so resolved in the first game and the show, and to see that actually privately she was advocating.
All of that is justified with this one act.
It
this was your daughter.
And the parallel here with Jerry from the first game is he's repeating everything that Ellie says right outside on the giraffe sequence in the first game, which is like, all the sacrifices we've made, it can't be for nothing.
Abby,
He's making the same exact argument Ellie does.
thank you, sweetie.
And then Abby walks in to give her dad an out.
Look, Marlene.
And
Do it.
Marlene is done arguing, especially in front of his daughter.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go tell Joel.
Why?
The ethical thing Marlene does here is like, I have to tell Joel, which is ultimately her fatal
Oh.
mistake.
Yeah.
I guess Jerry's fatal mistake too, but he allowed it to happen.
You're doing the right thing.
She sees how conflicted her dad is, and she tries to tell him it would be okay. I would want you to do it to me. And he can never admit that he wouldn't.
You don't think so?
Well,
I think you would.
that's what I love about this. It's like, but he never says it.
Yeah, he just kind of has that look of,
Maybe he's just glad that it's not her.
Yeah.
Is he still in the fucking building?
Oof.
Abby. Abby, don't look.
We can't spare any of our characters from seeing the trauma firsthand.
yeah.
Joel with Sarah, Ellie with Joel, Abby with Jerry. And it's just this shared trauma between these characters, and now events are set in motion. And now we get to see the other side of what happened after Abby kills Joel.
Please stop. Please don't.
Forget again, this is such a collaborative process. I don't even remember where some ideas come from, if it was editorial.
I think it was editorial.
Yeah, but to see the scene again from Abby's perspective and now get the fuller context, which is the whole concept of this game of like, you have one notion of how things go down, and then we give you more context and make you question your initial feelings about it.
Whoa, what are you doing? Manny.
Cleaning up.
No.
You remember how
You're here for
hard
it, that's it.
Pat
It's no
pushed
risk to leave them.
Alejandro?
Alejandro?
He's right. We can't have loose ends.
Yeah,
We killed them. We're no
This
better than
also
you.
good, but Pat specifically would just kind of lose himself in these moments.
Look at my face. Fuck your face. You should have been guarding the upstairs like I told you to. Move! Back up.
Calm down.
Or what? Back the fuck up!
Calm down!
Now then! You shoot me?
Stop! We're done.
There's your fatal mistake.
done.
Not cleaning up your mess. And now, back to day one.
Abby.
And this is where I think the penny drops for
Easy.
most players that, oh my God, I'm going to have to replay this entire sequence from the other side. This was fun. City of Thieves was highly inspirational for the first game, written by Game of Thrones co-showrunner David Benioff.
Being called up.
And I wanted to put it in the game. And I had just started working with Craig Mazin on a TV show, and he's friends with him. I'm like, can you ask them? He's like, oh, of course. And within 5 minutes, I had like a text message, like, yeah, no problem, put it in the
What are we
game.
doing now?
Yes. Vámonos.
Okay.
I love that Abby and Manny are roommates, that they're just bros. Gender means nothing.
It's crazy because we were filming it. I always thought of Manny as this like really fun loving. He is. He's this really fun guy, right? I hadn't even like registered the fact that he had in that scene, like he had spit on Joel. And so when I played it and he had done that, I was so angry at the character that it took so long to remember that he was a cool guy, a cool guy.
Why would it be up to Owen?
The irony that Ashley Birch, who plays Mel, has to play pregnant, while you, Laura Bailey, were pregnant.
I know, we're almost there.
From a writing standpoint, this is hard, because we're introducing a brand new cast of characters that we're asking you to care about, and we're building a mission a quest about Owen that's not really related to the revenge quest you just played half the game with. But there's just a lot of track we have to lay to then get the interesting payoffs. Just showing how close these people that came from the Fireflies are. That despite that they're in a group that's very tribalistic, they have their own tribe within that.
And they can be very upset with each other, but there's a protectiveness of their own group.
This was hard on the dev side of, we captured a scene and we're like, okay, here you see a tower, and now you're gonna pass the gate. And then we had to build all this real estate of this drive that's based on how much performance we have from you all.
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And we iterated a lot on just this layout and this turn and like, okay, when should the truck stop? And then they have to add all the secondary motion to you all, like, because we're not in an actual truck when we shoot this.
But we all just kind of did this little shimmy shake as we were in that.
But we did shoot this with Roach, the dog.
Roach the dog, we did.
Remember when Roach would come on set?
In his mocap suit?
And in his mocap suit, playing Alice.
And the whole set would just...
Right, fall in love
Just
with
take
Roach.
pictures, just take selfies with Roach.
That's seriously, like, Roach days were just...
They were the best days.
They were the best.
I don't trust him. Thanks again, guys.
I know, it all happened so
Neil, do you remember there was originally a storyline where Mel was actually closer with Jerry because they worked so closely together, and there was like some level of contention, historical contention between Mel and Abby for his affection.
Right.
And we scrapped that because Mel needed to be so likable because she's such a hindrance to Abby's happiness.
I'll just be here, relaxing.
Nora, have you had a chance to relax?
Ugh, I'm shipping out to the West Side Hospital in a few. Orders already.
Poor Danny. This is where Abby gets such a relief that it's not Owen, because this whole time there's this dread building that she thinks she's about to see Owen's body.
Where's Owen?
I don't know. A few days back, there were some scar sightings out by the marina.
Character model has incredible arms.
Davey and Owen were sent on a
Yes, I was
Incredible
just looking at her
This
arms.
morning, the guards found
I mean,
Danny
everybody
classified
talks about Abby's arms, but
Yeah, but damn,
Nora's arms.
Nora's the sleeper.
with a bullet in his stomach.
In this scene, we finally establish what's about to become
Isaac talked with him until the
Abby's
past
next goal, which is
As far as
rescue
I can
Owen.
tell, there's no units going back
And
there.
we come back to the theme of this
So what about Owen?
this series,
What happened?
which
Yeah,
is
I
love.
tried. But he gave me that fucking look, and then he told me to keep quiet about it. Which
This is
means
one
you
more
can't
example of the
say
tribe within
shit.
the tribe of she's telling them stuff they should not know. Because she trusts them, she cares for them more than she cares for the wolves, the WLF.
Where is Isaac?
Now we gotta go see the big man.
Last I heard, he was in the apartments.
It's kind of cool to, again, build this guy up and then give you a glimpse of the person that runs the WLF.
You know what you guys find out?
Yeah.
Hey, Abby.
We need to go up.
Isaac's in there.
This was another one of those sequences where we didn't want to be confined to the volume.
Said again when you two.
If I remember correctly, we mapped out with tape on the floor, like this floor. Then you go into just a marked area that's going to be the elevator, and then you come out, and the whole place is marked differently when you're in Isaac's suite.
Sir, Abby and Manny are here.
And here we have the fantastic and very scary Jeffrey Wright.
Don't let him fall asleep.
There's a dehumanization that happens when you're in conflict with another group for so long, and there's so many like retributions that they get to a place where you can't torture them because they're so dehumanized. And we get to see how easy it is for Isaac now that he just sees them as pure enemies. We met Jeffrey Wright because his son was such a big fan of the first game. And talking to him, I offered him this role, and he was very excited to take it on. So it was fun to work with him, even if a little intimidating at times, just because his gravelly voice is so creepy.
What's going on, boss?
These small skirmishes. Can't keep going like this.
Then what?
This was another obstacle we're throwing in Abby's way, which is, in the past, Isaac has given her a lot of rope because of how capable she is to pursue Joel. But here, he can't afford to have anybody leave because they're going to go all out to kill every last scar, as he would call it.
Sir, we try attacking their island.
I remember in like early iterations of the script, having a bunch of scenes, not a bunch, but having scenes with Isaac, where he was very much a mentor for her and almost like a surrogate father figure as she was growing up.
Those were early versions of the story where
Yeah.
just in trying to shrink this behemoth down, we end up cutting. But the other thing you could see here is Jeffrey Wright has a limp. And the reason for that is if you look at the concept art, he has an amputated leg. And there's no opportunity to really see it, but the limp is still there.
Is someone okay?
And then we did so many takes, and Jeffrey insisted on eating an apple on every take just to make it authentic. So he ate a bunch of apples.
To Laura's point, we wrote scenes. I remember drafting scenes where he's coming in as trying to be sort of a Tommy, like a father figure after she's lost her dad, and you come to realize how intimate their relationship is, but it's something that she will very quickly give up in the face of Owen being in trouble. And as soon as she connects with Lev, again, she's willing to give that up. But couldn't do it for time.
You get little hints of it because I feel like our relationship in this scene, you can see that he's given her things in the past. She's used to being able to
get her way.
And that one line, the way he lives it, like, stop gossiping about it. Like, the idea of that you guys need to stop, like, being this, like, Salt Lake City crew. You're part of a bigger group now.
Yeah.
There are things more important.
And we'll get to the bottom of it.
And even here, he's, like, saying, when the time comes, we'll do what's right.
Yeah, at this point, you find him to be, I think, torturing aside, like, he's a very fair leader with her. He's given her a lot, and then now he expects her to step up for ultimately a 3-day assault.
The way he behaves, again, this is like we're on a broken record, which is he loves his people. He's going to go commit atrocities because of how much he loves the people that look up to him.
He's gonna burn a village filled with children.
Right?
No way Owen killed Danny over some scar, right? What? No. Abby, don't.
I'll be back by morning. You just gotta cover me till then.
Isaac will kick your ass.
Not before the assault. You heard him.
Abby doesn't care about this assault in the same way that Joel didn't care about finding a cure. It's just about the people that are close to us. And now we head into her head for flashback.
The most fun scenes to shoot.
Stop it.
This was fun, watching you two be so playful.
They were like a little respite from all of the
The horror.
horror that we were shooting.
And again, establishing Abby has vulnerabilities, right? Not just emotionally, but she has a deep, deep, deep fear of heights, which then gives Lev an opportunity to help her.
Just interesting, these characters that here with Owen and then the other time with Joel, when he takes Ellie to the museum, of these gifts that they give the people that they love. And here it's like he brought her to show her this beautiful aquarium as a show of his love.
Well, he's trying to, right, in the same way as Joel after David, he is trying to get back to the Abby that was. He's trying to get back to the dynamic that they had. And he's putting all of his heart into bringing her joy in the hopes that he can get confirmation that that person is not dead.
It's getting late.
Yeah.
We had these long talks about how Abby, like, is so serious and doesn't want to joke around. She's not a jokester. And I think Pat just like took that and ran, because every single time we would shoot, he would try to make me laugh as we were shooting as like a challenge.
I'm serious. I will break up with you. Owen.
I always loved you.
Don't! Owen!
It is like, at this point, Abby also, I think, is trying to be the person everybody wants her to be. She's trying to be the old version of Abby. She's trying to be the loyal soldier to Isaac, who has given them a home and a purpose. She's still figuring out who this new version of her is.
And reinforcing her fear of height.
No.
When we shot that, though, do you remember how pregnant I was?
Remember how terrified I was because you're jumping off this like 2-foot platform.
It had to be. It was higher than 2 feet, right?
3
Tell
feet.
me it was higher than
3
2
feet. But then every time you landed hard on the ground, I'm like, oh my God, a baby's gonna fall out of her. This was like a nice, short and sweet little cinematic.
Also a fun thing to shoot when you're like coming up from underwater.
And then I remember you have to do this prep as if you're diving and transition in and out of gameplay.
Uh-huh.
I like these kind of air pockets that would still have remained here. As you held your breath a lot while
Yes.
shooting some of these scenes.
I love the scene.
Yeah, this whole sequence is for this scene. Like, but poor Owen loves Abby so much, and she's just so stuck with this, well, grief, I guess, that she can't let go. The injustice that she can't let go.
You could argue that what Owen is going through is a smaller version of what Abby is going through, right? Like, he's in love with this girl. He's fixated on her. He's ready to go on this journey with her and risk things for her, and all he wants in return is a little bit of love. And she just can't. She can't. This is just, she's not the person she was anymore.
It's this notion that somehow, if she's happy, she's disrespecting the loss of her father.
Yeah.
You want me to slow down?
No,
She can't allow herself to be too happy.
Is it this?
And he's still trying to make light of it. Look at him.
He's so cute.
You're disgusted by it.
Patrick Fugit is a very charming man.
Very.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Talk to me.
Just let him in.
I know all the leads have dried up, but Joel's still out there, you know?
I know.
And we get the sense that this is not the first time they're having this conversation.
No, this is the end of their intimate relationship, right? He's
Yeah.
going to try and move on
This is
with Mel. It's not going to work out.
This is the breakup scene.
Not how he envisioned this moment going, I have
No.
a feeling.
What about you?
I kind of this idea, like, look what I brought you. I brought you underwater. What else can I do?
Yeah, hang out
There
with
are
you.
seals swimming around.
It's just not enough.
So sad.
I mean, it's very much a parallel to what we see a much worse version of this in Ellie on the Farm with Dina.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I told you already. Don't be sorry.
Flashback number 2 for Abby.
Yeah. So this scene also, the sequence had to do a lot of work because we're, once again, resetting. You have to learn where she and Owen are in their relationship, feel that tension, feel the family dynamics.
Owen!
He's so surprised to see her.
Hey.
Hey. Is everything all right?
Yeah.
I love the set, man. The set took so many
Forever,
iterations to get right,
forever.
but it was really important that it felt gorgeous. Justify why this guy has holed up in here for so long.
What is all this? Festive.
You gotta get the full effect.
This is our Christmas episode.
Take in that view.
A thing you might not appreciate until you sort of really play this is this aquarium had to meet so many different needs because it's in so many different
Right.
levels. And so to make sure that all of those could work together was painstaking, especially for the layout designers.
Now, try that. Well?
The view is nice.
Oh, whatever. Philistine.
You want me to lie?
Yes, obviously. She's into this Christmas thing.
And again, look at this effort he puts in.
Yeah, there's this a beautiful tension between these characters that still clearly very much love each other.
But he did this for Mel, right?
Yeah,
this is
this
for
was-
Mel.
Right, but look how excited he is that Abby's here.
I know. He's trying to move on.
I doubt he's this excited when Mel's here.
You don't deserve
Poor Mel.
But I think he
Poor Mel.
wants to be, right? I think he
Yeah.
wants to move on with Mel. He
'Cause
knows
he's-
she's inaccessible.
Well, yeah, Abby's a dead end.
Why are you in such a good mood?
Am I?
I love that he misreads this. Like he thinks this is somehow about him and now he's going to convince her to stay. But she's in a good mood because
I found Joel's brother.
they found Joel's brother.
He's at a settlement out in Wyoming.
How do you know that?
Some Fireflies who served with him got picked up at the wall.
I thought he quit like a decade ago.
Yeah.
So, have these guys heard from him since?
It's a lead. I gotta see it through.
Okay, but you know that even if he is there, and you do find him, he might not know where Joel is, right?
Right, because at this point, we're already... Canonically, he's already starting to have issues killing scars.
Everyone's on board.
And we're not really talking about it, but there's some track getting laid. He's losing his taste for violence.
I like that he was the last person that she went to go talk to about
That many
this.
people go off base.
He already did.
Bullshit.
Who's more about justice than Isaac? He knows what Joel's done. Hey. We're doing this together, right?
I love that look. It's like, you promised me. If we get like any clue, you promised me. He doesn't want to be the last holdout.
But he's like Jesse. He's never not going to go if his people are going. Oh, the Paris sequence.
This scene.
Oh, yes.
Was this one of the first things we
Yes,
shot?
yeah, because it was for Paris Games
Yeah.
Week.
Paris Games Week, yeah.
We shot this way in advance.
I think it was like a day or two before we shot this that I'm like, we could do this all as one shot. And like I had sketched out like these kind of storyboards real quick, and then came up with this hazy plan with Matt Neapolitan, our cinematographer for this game.
Like take after take of getting dragged by your arms.
This was another one where we actually strung Laura up with, we had like two ropes, one that was around your neck to just give you a little bit of tension that you could lean into as much as you wanted, and then another one that held your body up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, but man, this was so much work, and like we scrutinized the tiniest details in the scene.
When this came out originally, people thought that she was
Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
That she was Ellie's mom.
We were watching the narrative of how Ellie came to be.
And these Seraphites that at times you might feel sorry for them and you see them getting tortured.
And then...
And then see that, you know,
Oh, wait a minute.
here the lead Seraphite in the scene is played by Emily Swallow in Small World. She's of Mandalorian fame, acting along Pedro Pascal. And later we find out this is a bastardization of this thing of like freedom so they may know my love wasn't meant as like disembowel them.
Free them, that they may know my...
The intro of Victoria Grace plays Yara.
Yeah, this scene has a lot of heavy lifting. It's introducing like two major characters of Yara and Lev. Again, this idea that keeps repeating in this story of like the tribe within a tribe, that even though these are all Abby's enemies, Seraphites, somehow they have it in for these two kids.
And again, this is one of those weird opportunities, I know it sounds dark, but like in seeing the violence against these kids, it's much easier to immediately understand why Abby makes the choices she makes. They may be their enemy, but these are kids getting hurt.
Lighting a scene is really hard. Lighting a scene that's one take, where the camera's constantly moving around in 360 degrees and making sure all those angles still look good, is close to impossible. So kudos to our lighting team.
The face change as she... Ugh.
The face change, the flow of blood, the water, there's so many things that done improperly would take you out of the scene. And then we spent a lot of even the hands right there. I remember we spent so much time making sure you see the tension in the hands as she's suffocating. The shirt, and make sure the shirt felt wet and it's sticking to her skin, and it's a little bit translucent because it's wet. That's the kind of detail that Naughty Dog is crazy about.
Demons are coming.
So this is the introduction of Ian Alexander, and a fun thing to watch as you watch his face throughout the game is, I think it was lead character Ashley Swadowski came up with it, but if you look at his scars, one of them is a little crooked and wobbly, and the idea that like you see there's physical representation of his hesitation in this religion, even on the scars on his face.
And yet, I think the beautiful thing with him is that he remains a believer all the way through.
Yeah. His faith partly saved him, right? Because he saw the beauty in the intention.
Watch your backs.
Lock it.
Another scene that just, I say this over and over, but it's such beautiful, soft lighting.
Right, and so at this point, they've worked together for as long as they need to, but they're off to go on their separate missions. They don't need to be friends.
Come help me with this.
That taking off of the shirt is so hard. I can't tell people how hard it is. The raindrops again, this window were difficult. My high school friend has become a renowned plastic surgeon, Jacob Steiger. And he gave me some advice here on this injury and what you would need to do to treat it.
Right, and this is also a reminder that while Abby took a different path, she comes from doctors, from care. She understands the body, even if she never particularly prioritized it.
Victoria and Ian were great in this. Just how Ian has to play both being scared for his sister and just angry at this wolf that he has to work with.
What's your name?
This is a recurring theme throughout both games, that the idea of giving someone's name is a way to show you trust them.
Thanks for cutting me down.
I love this theme again.
I like the conflict of leaving them, knowing you're dooming them.
Oh, this is... She thinks, I'll give them the warning and that'll be enough.
Sarah gets a lot of traffic. Whatever shape she's in, we need to get out of here by tomorrow.
I don't need your fucking help. The lighting on the hair. This game is still very impressive.
Owen?
This scene turned out to be a bit more controversial than we anticipated.
The irony here is, as much as this is the counterpoint sex scene to Ellie's sex scene, we don't... Oh, I guess we do show a little more.
We show a little bit more.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but
What is all this?
I love this interplay between you two.
Apart, filming to fix her back
And
up.
I see.
yeah, we really wanted to give Pat something meaty
Pass.
in this monologue, which he just, for my money, knocked it out of the park.
Danny's dead.
Of like visualizing this moment where he just can't do this violent thing anymore. It's not him.
You want to tell me what happened?
I like that she's been strung up and beaten and almost killed, and
We were.
none of that's
in a
important right
small
now.
Camp. It's just a couple scars and.
I just got to come in and sit down and watch him work.
Hard. And he goes down, and his weapon's right
And this
there.
idea of the tribe within a tribe, and
And he doesn't go for it.
there's no secrets between these two.
Instead, he turns to me. And he's old.
The idea that he's just been sitting here drinking, conflicted, and I mean, he's about to leave his baby mama. That's how much he can't stay in this place. He feels like he's losing his soul. And this look right here, it's like there's a part of Abby that knows what he's saying is true. But that sense of duty to this group that has taken care of them is still there, but starting to erode.
I couldn't do it. Of course, Danny gets in my fucking face about
We're watching her maturity in real time.
I told him I'm done.
Especially having come off
He can do it
of
himself if he wants.
seeing two Seraphites up close and saving them too.
So I grab it, and then
I like that there's so much like unspoken between them that's about to come to the surface of like Abby thinks he's so naive and he thinks what she did was so awful, but clearly they've never talked about it until now. And then there's the underlying love they have for each other and obviously attraction. It's all like, it's so messy. I like the messiness of this relationship.
that I don't give a fuck about anymore.
And it would have been like, I know our goal here is to create empathy for Abby, to show you the other side of this journey. And this definitely was a risk to say, okay, she's going to have a sort of affair with this guy that got this other girl pregnant, her friend.
The fireflies aren't
But
recording.
this primal thing that's going on between them just overpowers logic.
It's a lead.
And to me, that was more important to create empathy, is to show how human they are than to just make them righteous or right the whole time.
No, they're trying to define good in a gray world.
What about Mel?
And that means they have to make messes.
This little pause, that's a nice bit of acting.
She'll be safe here.
Okay. We'll talk in the morning when you're sober.
Don't do that.
Do what?
Treat me like I'm fucking insane. You feel the
He
same.
knows her more than she knows herself.
If the fireflies are in Santa Barbara, I go the opposite fucking direction.
And the resentment that she has for the fireflies, because in her mind, that's part of the reason her dad died, is,
What?
They failed her.
yeah. They failed in every way.
Yeah.
Sorry I grew up. You should try it.
It's just the insulting and just
Oh yeah, how do I do that, Happy?
and this notion that's like your best friends can hurt you the most.
Cut into them. I could torture them until they're crying, you know?
And the flash of violence here, of anger, is like, Abby never talks about it, but clearly she is haunted by what she did to Joel.
Yeah. And he's finally seeing that.
Yeah, and then once they touch, it's over.
I think they're both incredibly lonely characters.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in this other relationship, but clearly he's lonely, and he's been longing for her. And I know people ask this question, why show this? Why you could end the scene right here.
I disagree, though.
But I disagree as well, because I think it's important to show the
conflict.
vulnerability, how vulnerable these characters can be with each other. But there's also, again, it's messy and dirty and loving and a little violence at the same time.
My philosophy on sex scenes is you should take them to the point where you've gotten all the information needed or the emotional evolutions needed. And in this case, I think you needed to see her conflicted and give in.
Yeah, surrender to the moment. This was a concept we came in quite late of showing a nightmare. It's showing that now that this nightmare that she's having about her dad is now switched. And this like burn that Owen has on his back, this was another Ashley Swedowski idea that, like we do environmental storytelling, we could do stuff on the body through scars or disfiguration that tells you a story.
I love that at her core, Abby is a protector.
Mm-hmm.
She's Joel.
She's Joel.
Yeah.
Right, so now the dread, she's too late.
Don't come any closer.
It's me.
I like the change that Lev goes through here. Of like, he's relieved to see her, and he's ashamed that he hasn't been able to protect his sister.
I really like her trigger etiquette. She took her finger off that trigger as soon as she heard his voice. Classy.
Good job, Laura.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Laura.
There's this little bit of storytelling of the jacket on top of her, that now she's feverish. Sometimes we get these unintentional parallels. Like this one comes to mind of Ellie in Winter needing medicine for Joel.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is about to become a goal for Abby and Lev.
Giving her a chance.
I think that one of the things about this game that I like is it just keeps reminding you in how many ways we are fragile.
This is one of the things I did for
Owen!
training when I started working out for Abby. My husband Travis got me a 100-pound sandbag,
Have to carry.
and I had to carry it,
Oh, damn.
I need whatever.
and then I got pregnant.
Put the phone down, it's okay!
This is a neat moment, right? These dogs have been trained to like tear scars apart, and now they're here.
Lev, lower the bow. It's okay.
Abby, who are these kids?
They saved my life.
I mean, this is probably the first time they've ever come this close to Seraphites without fighting them.
I wonder if Owen right now is thinking, like, I mean, I said not kill them. We don't have to, like,
What did this?
fucking go this far.
Hammer. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Mel's like, yeah, right.
Lay her down.
I don't know. It doesn't look that bad.
It's just a little pink.
It's just
It's
a
a
little
tan.
smooshy.
Yara,
I was gonna clean it and try
the
resetting.
bone's shattered.
Like, there's a moment here that I always find funny where like Owen tries to suggest like just cutting it and burning it,
What does that mean?
and Laura, you just make him feel like an idiot.
It has to come off.
She's a soldier. You can't take her arm. We leave it, it'll turn gangrenous.
What I love in this scene is even though Mel has very little dialogue outside of tending to Yara, you can see in her performance, in Ashley Birch's wonderful performance and her body language, that she is very much soured to Abby since last we saw her. And hopefully it's very subtly asking the question of how much does Mel know?
She would die from infection.
You fucking moron.
Make me a list. I'll go to the hospital.
It's taking all day to get there.
I don't mind.
It's not about you, Abby. She doesn't have a couple of days. What if I can get you there in 2 hours?
Abby is like such a
Hospital, right?
singularly minded
On the west side?
person. Like when she gets fixated on something, nothing will get in her way.
Bridges,
I don't know anyone else like that.
high up. It's how we get around the flooding and you people.
Can't you handle 2 hours?
Probably, yeah.
This idea of the sky bridges and that wolves never look up. It's actually it's an idea we got from our focus test, is that we build these elaborate levels, and then we find players look left and right and almost never turn the camera upwards.
Oh, wow.
So there's this idea that they're patrolling these streets and they never look up to see these secret paths that the Seraphites are using.
Abby.
Look at the
Oh, yeah,
way-
you calling Abby right now?
Look at the way Mel's looking at him.
Hey,
There's also, again, it's kind of a messy theme, but the idea that we've done certain things and it feels like we can never get past them. And for Owen, it's like, oh, I got this girl pregnant. Does that mean
why are you doing this?
this relationship is doomed and it could never happen? That's the way Abby sees it. But for his mind, it's like, nothing is ever final. There's always a chance for like a new beginning.
Well, I do.
It's a nice, sweet little moment.
And Lev's just like,
Well,
I'm
like,
not
oh,
here.
shit, well,
I
I
am
just
not
went.
here.
Yeah, there's so much unsaid that, again, we have the privilege at Naughty Dog being able to capture such small nuances of your performance that we don't have to rely on dialogue as much. Her worst fear realized.
Yeah. Can you imagine how bad that would
Ugh.
smell?
I like that Abby is like, let me recover from near death. And Lev's like, I'm good, let's go.
And he's just staring
just
at her
bounces.
awkwardly.
It was so great on the stage. Looking up and just seeing him.
Can I get a minute? Please.
Okay, but I'm going to keep staring at you awkwardly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Just back up one step.
The sequence between Abby and Lev used to be short, significantly shorter, and Lev used to be the one that died and Yara survived. And it's because we saw the dynamic between you two.
Oh,
that
really?
It caused us to have this ripple effect that changed the story and eventually led to us changing the ending and having Abby survive.
What? Really?
Spores. Masks on.
So this is my favorite level in the whole game. And narratively, this level had to do a lot of work, not just because,
We were on the run.
hey, now we're going to learn more about Seraphite culture and what this is and who Lev is. But this level has to ultimately earn Abby's willingness to walk away from the wolves.
If you die, I'll be stuck here.
Better start praying I make it.
She has
I
to. She
like
has to build love.
the banter that's forming between these two characters. As they get more comfortable with each other, they're okay insulting each other in this funny way.
Got your present.
Here.
We're taking too long.
Can't move any faster. It won't do your sister any good if we're both dead. There. We got this. This is as far as you go.
Wait, why?
Because they want to kill you.
I like that he has no idea what backgammon is.
What's backgammon?
it's an interesting dynamic because he's been so secluded from the world. He knows even less than Ellie did in the first game. Which makes you think about, like, you know, if we were to come back years later, people that would be born years and years later, like, just the world we know seems more and more distant.
Hey.
Vida girl.
Abby.
Oh.
Now from the other side.
They got you out here too. Yeah, what a haul. I need some medical supplies. Can you put me where I'm supposed to?
Abby, just checked in with Isaac. He wants you back at the farm.
Let me talk to Isaac.
Talk to him in person. You're going back with the next shipment.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
She's been AWOL.
Trying to look confident, though, you guys. Tell by my body posture.
Give me your hands.
She's not yet willing to.
Fight them. She's surrendering to them. They're not her enemy yet.
Just staring daggers into his face, though. Like, are you really gonna do that?
Hey! Hey! Let me the fuck out! God damn.
You're gonna dislocate your shoulder.
Chelsea Tavares
I never thought I'd see you on Isaac's bedside.
did a really fantastic job as Nora.
You find no
It
one
was
to leave
important
her.
that all of you had really good chemistry. That's just, you have to sell years of friendship in very short scenes.
I need some medical supplies.
Why? What happened to him?
And again, this just myopic focus.
Compartment syndrome. Bashed forearm.
You're not treating him, are you?
Mel.
But she's not right. Interesting that even here, that these people love each other, that there's tribes within a tribe within a tribe. Because she's, yeah, lying to Nora.
We haven't cleared out the lower floors yet.
Would they have what I need?
Build up for the scariest fight.
Probably.
We're about to get into our Resident Evil homage.
I'll be fine.
She's so cool.
You get caught.
Nora?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What to do with this?
I'm like, this will bite you in the ass.
All right, come on.
But, all right.
Like that she's ready to pummel whoever it is that grabbed her. And this is something we'll see with Yara later as well, which, like, these kids are told to stay put, and they're starting to care so much for Abby, they don't stay put.
They're all looking for you. What did you do?
Nothing. I told you to stay put.
I couldn't. Your friends are all over the place.
I really like this, the glue that happens between this scene and the next, and showing this river rapids ride, and it has very much this apocalypse now feeling that, you know, you're
Follow me.
cruising through a war-torn area.
This game is so ugly.
This was this little sequence. I think this was suggested by Joe, our editor on this game. I love these murals.
Yeah.
Sometimes these, like, kind of connecting shots I find really beautiful. Just giving you a little bit of a gap in time.
Now this shifted relationship with Lev and Alice.
Oh, yeah. And
And
Lev's
it's
just
like-
been taught to fear those dogs.
Right.
They just rip them apart.
And another example of just the beauty of animals in this world. And
Oh,
How they represent innocence.
Gorgeous baby.
I'm staring at the animation on the fingers and how well done it is.
Yeah.
Well done. You can go see her now if you want.
Is she gonna be okay?
Yeah, actually.
All this time after what they did to Joel, after all the